hardcore Minecraft server where you cannot wear armor. It will quite literally kill you.
That's not even that hard. Okay, so obviously this is really hard. So I'm doing it a little different than like the main challenge they have. My regen is normal, and that's about it. I'm just trying to survive 100 days. So let's get into it. Day 0. After loading into the world, I went ahead and got some wood. After that, I went over and I got some stone tools. Once I was done that, I spotted a village in the distance. I went over to the village and I gracefully asked for their items. I definitely didn't just steal all of them or kidnap them, but after all that pillaging, I was pretty tired, so I went to sleep. Day 1, I started clearing out an area for base, made a little sugarcane farm, then went and got some iron and cleared out more space for a base. Then I went down and made a little mineshaft thing and went to sleep. Day 2, I started making a strip mine since it's a lot safer than caving. Even though I did end up finding a cave and finding my first mobs, which I killed. Then I went into the cave and found my first diamonds. This was just one though. I did end up finding more and made a diamond pickaxe and started mining obsidian for a portal and an enchantment table. I did get enough diamonds for basically full diamond tools and mined skulk to try to get to level 30. Day 3, I kept mining skulk until I got to level 30. I went back up, did some pillaging, but man does that get me tired. Day 4, I started making a house for the villagers. I started bringing all the villagers into the house, and yes, it's ugly, but is a prison even supposed to look that good? Day 6, I just got all the wheat from the village. Day 7, I made my own farm, which is way better, and then I spent the rest of the day trying to get a mending villager, and then at the end of the day, I was able to get one. Day 8, I built a raid farm. The farm's basically built. I just don't have the villager here. It was built by They6 is the tutorial I use, so thank you. This is a very easy build for like a very beginning thing. So it's really helpful. I just hope that it goes well this time, because last time I built this in one of these worlds, I died to it. So, see how that goes. Day 9, I got a villager into the raid farm, and I headed off to get an ominous bottle from a pillager outpost, because I think that's probably like the safest and the easiest way to get one. Well, that goat scared the crap out of me, but we found one. So, I'm just gonna have to be very careful. Okay, there's already... Got it. Day 11, I just AFK'd in the raid farm and got a whole bunch of totems. After getting all those totems, I decided to head into the Nether, where I used the pie chart to figure out where the fortress is. Then I stopped before going to the fortress to try to trade with some piglins so I could get some fire resistant potions, which would make it a lot easier to fight blazes. But after trading all my gold, I got 0 fire resistant potions, so I just headed to the fortress anyways. And I ran into a wither skeleton, which nothing really happened, but I found a blaze spawner, and of course, you know, like, I popped a totem because I was being dumb. And I know I get fire resistance from a totem, but you only get 30 seconds, which is not enough. So I went and got blaze rods and tried to trade with piglin, which then again, I was being dumb and popped another totem. And again, I did the same thing. I didn't mind the piglin all the way in, and had to run away and almost popped another totem. But I figured it out. Day 13, I did some more trading, but I still didn't really get anything, so I just headed back to the overworld. Day 14, I went and strip mined for some gold. Day 15, I had about 1.5 stacks of gold from mining, so I traded for some fire resistant potions, and I was able to get some this time. So I went ahead and I got myself some blaze rods. Day 16, I spent forever trying to find this nether wart, but I finally got some and I headed back in one piece. Day 17, I mined out more area for a base. Day 18, I spent the whole day mining sand so I could make my sugarcane farm bigger. Then I started making my base. Day 26, I mined some trees. Day 27, I headed off to find a pillager outpost. Day 28, I was able to find one, but there was no captain, so I sat around while a whole bunch of them spawned, but still, no captain. Day 29, since I got no captain from that last one, I headed off to try to find another outpost. I was able to find another outpost, but it was the same thing with the other one. There was still no captain. So I decided to stick around, and then finally, a captain spawned. So I was able to kill it and start heading back. Day 31, I made it back home and headed into the raid farm. And then I AFK'd while the raid went. Day 32, I did some mining for some iron. Day 33, I went and traded with some villagers. And then I got to level 30 and I enchanted my pickaxe for Silk Touch. Day 34, I used the pie chart to find a mob spawner. And then after I found it, I started making a mob farm with it. This was a zombie spawner. And then I started making an easier way up with a bubble elevator. Day 35, I mined out an area for the mob farm. Day 36 and 37 was spent making the mob farm until on day 38, I was able to finish it. Day 39 was spent building a safer path to the mob farm. Day 40 was also just building the mob farm path, making it nice and safe. Day 41 and day 42 was just spent AFKing the whole time. Day 43 was spent mining, and I was able to get quite a bit of stuff. I was trying to talk right here, but I'm facing the wrong way and my mic's off. Day 44 was spent trading with villagers. Day 45 was spent getting final things ready for the end. Since I traded with my cleric, I was able to get enough pearls, and I headed off in the direction that I went to find the portal. Day 46, I was able to find where the portal is. Since I was at this river, I threw an eye on both sides, and they both went into the middle, so I decided to mine down in the middle of the river, and I was right. I was able to find the fortress. After a very long time, I was able to find the portal and get ready for the end fight. After the end fight, I went over to the remote gateway to explore the end islands so I could get an elytra. And I spotted a end city with a ship pretty quickly. I was able to get up there and safely get the elytra. Day 49, I was able to make my way back to the end portal. Day 50, I was able to get a perfect sword, and then I did some trading with the villagers. Day 51, I sat in the mob farm. Day 52, I spent the whole day trying to get an Unbreaking villager. Day 53, I was finally able to get an Unbreaking 2 villager, which is good enough. Day 54 to day 58, I made the villager house look a lot better. Day 59 and 60, I sat in the mob farm. Day 61 and 62, I got stuff so I could build a creeper farm. Day 63, I started building the creeper farm. Day 64, I kept building the creeper farm. Day 65, still building. Day 66, finishing up the building. Okay, farm's done. Thank you to Waddles? I don't know how to say it. But that's where I got the design from. Thank you, it was easy. So I'm gonna AFK here and try to get some gunpowder. Day 68, I spent the whole day mining coal. Day 69, I spent the whole day trading with villagers. Okay, days 70 to 72, my footage was basically all black except for like the 2 clips that I got here. Basically all I did was I AFK'd in the mob farm, and then I traded with villagers and went to the Nether. So sorry about that, but let's get straight into day 73. Day 73, I was in a bastion, and there's these 2 chests down here. After I killed the piglins, I went down, made sure it was safe. I looted these 2 chests. They did not have anything too valuable in it. I'm going for a netherite upgrade. It was a treasure bastion, so I went into the middle, and I just jumped down because why not? I have a totem. After I almost died, I got the upgrade, and I got out of there after popping a totem somehow. And I made it out alive. I still don't know how. And I headed back home. Day 74 was spent mining for netherite. Day 75, I made it back safely and had enough scraps so I could make 4 netherite ingots. Day 76, I spent the whole day building another layer on the creeper farm. Day 77, I built another layer on the creeper farm. Day 78, I spent the whole day strip mining. Day 79 and 80 was spent AFKing so I could make the most important tool in the game, a netherite hoe. Day 82, I got to level 30 and I enchanted this diamond pickaxe so I could combine them before I make my last one netherite. Day 83 was spent exploring for a luscious cave. Day 84, I was able to find a luscious cave and I spent the whole day mining all the moss I could. Day 85, I was running low on totems, so I did a little raid. Day 86, I spent the whole day trading with villagers. Day 87, I spent the whole day building one of my signature towers from the Freezy server. Day 88, I finished up the tower. Day 89, I did the inside of the tower. Day 90, I just spent the whole day making the tower just a little bit better. Day 91, I built a luscious cave for my nether portal. Day 92, I AFK'd in the zombie farm. Day 93 and 94, I spent mining. Day 95, I spent mining for netherite so I could make all my tools netherite before the end of the challenge. Day 96, I upgraded my axe and my shovel to netherite, and I finally had full netherite tools. Day 97 was spent making the area look a little bit nicer, and then day 89 was spent mining, and then day 99 was spent AFKing at the creeper farm. And then finally, on the sunset of day 99, I finished the challenge.